Hello, and welcome to our video series on parts of speech. Every day, we use thousands of words, whether it's talking on the phone, talking to a friend, talking to customers at work, or doctors speaking to their patients. And if you're anything like my brother, when he's gaming, it's more like a million words. Nonetheless, every single word that we use can be separated into just 8 groups. These groups are called parts of speech. They are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Today, we'll start with the first of 2 videos on nouns. After this video, you'll know what a noun is and the different types of nouns. So get comfortable and let's get started. So, what is a noun? A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. It's important to note that nouns name. They are not actual people, places, things, or ideas. A little unclear? It's okay. Let me make it clear. Okay, let's take a look here. Which is a noun? The word pencil on the left or the image of the pencil on the right? If you selected the word pencil on the left, then you are correct. Why, you ask? Because for one, it's a word, and the definition of a noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. Notice that the image on the right is not naming a pencil, it is a pencil. Make sense? Cool. Now that we cleared that up, let's chat about the different types of nouns. I know this seems kind of random, but trust me, there's a reason I'm asking. So do you like fruits? My favorites are mangoes and avocados. But as you know, there's many different types of fruits, like bananas, grapes, watermelon, pears, apples, you name it. Each has a unique taste, but they're all still fruits. Well, nouns are similar, except they just aren't as tasty. Well, because they're words, remember? And well, you can't eat words. Anyway, just like fruits, there are different types of nouns. See, I told you there was a reason I was asking you if you liked fruit. The different types of nouns are possessive, common and proper, singular and plural, abstract and concrete, compound and collective, and finally, countable and uncountable. First, we'll cover common and proper nouns. All nouns are either common or proper. Common nouns are general, non-specific people, places, things, or ideas. They begin with a lowercase letter, unless of course it's at the beginning of a sentence. Proper nouns name specific people, places, things, or ideas, and they begin with a capital letter, regardless of where they're at in the sentence. Let's take a look at a few examples of each. Remember, common nouns name general things, and proper nouns name specific things. An example of a common noun is the word teacher. That could be any teacher. But if you use the proper name Mr. Bryant, then that names a specific teacher. Another common noun example is a car. An example of a proper noun is a specific car, which is a Honda. A third example of a common noun is a boy. And an example of a proper noun is a specific boy, which is Kobe. Lastly, a common noun example is park. You notice it doesn't specify which park, but if you use a proper noun like Disneyland, then that tells me specifically which park. Next, we'll cover singular and plural nouns. Singular nouns name one specific person, place, thing, or idea. Plural nouns name, yep, you guessed it, more than one person, place, thing, or idea, and they generally end in the letter S. Here are some examples of singular nouns: box, ball, and apple. Next, here are some examples of plural nouns: boxes, balls, and apples. There are regular and irregular plural nouns. Most nouns have a distinct singular and plural form. However, just like everything else in the English language, there are exceptions. Since there are so many, we decided to cover that in another video. Next, we'll look at abstract and concrete nouns. Abstract nouns name something you cannot see, touch, or perceive with your five senses. Concrete nouns name things that you can physically touch or see and perceive with your five senses. Abstract nouns are intangible things like actions, feelings, concepts, and qualities. Some examples are confidence, happiness, freedom, and truth. Concrete nouns are things you can see, like cat, pencil, and zebra. Before we cover the rest of the different types of nouns, let's play a quick game. You can choose the answers with this controller. So our first question is, which is the correct definition of a noun? You pressed the blue button? Awesome, because that's correct, and you just earned yourself 100 points. All right, next question. These nouns are used to name a general type of person, place, thing, or idea. I see you pressed the yellow button. Awesome, you got it right. Now you have 200 points. Awesome, next question. Let's see here. These nouns name one specific person, place, thing, or idea. You pressed the green button, and that's correct. Look, you have 300 points. Awesome. Now for the final question. These nouns name things that you can physically touch or see and perceive with your five senses. I see you pressed the blue button, and that's correct. Now you have 400 points. Awesome. Well, it seems as though you've really been paying attention, so thank you for that. What do you say we go ahead and finish up our lesson? Okay, so we've covered common and proper nouns, singular and plural, abstract and concrete nouns. Now we'll go ahead and discuss compound and collective nouns. Compound nouns are made up of two or more words. One example is backspace. Do you notice the two words that make up this compound noun? Yes, the word back and the word space. Collective nouns are singular nouns that refer to a group of things as a whole. An example would be like the word class, which is a group of students considered a whole. There are actually three different forms of compound nouns. The first is the classic form. Some examples are keyboard, notebook, and moonlight. The second is the hyphenated form. Some examples of that is mother-in-law and one half. Notice the hyphen in between each word. The third is open form. Some examples are post office and ice cream. Notice the space or open area in between each word. Now, let's look at a few more examples of collective nouns. The first is choir, which is a group of singers, family, which is a group of people that are related, and band, which is a group of people who play music together. Now, let's discuss countable and uncountable nouns. All common nouns can either be counted with numbers or they cannot be counted at all. Countable nouns, yep, you guessed it, can be counted. Basically, anything that you can turn from a singular noun to a plural noun is a countable noun. So like the word apple. Apple is a singular noun, but can you make it into a plural noun? Of course, you can have 1 apple or 20. Uncountable nouns are difficult to count or divide into separate parts because they are either abstract ideas or concepts like love or sadness, or tiny objects like rice or sand, don't have a clear form like liquids or gases such as coffee or air. Or they are categories of things like furniture or luggage. I know, you're like, but wait, I have multiple pieces of luggage. Well, think of it like this. You can make countable nouns plural, but you cannot make uncountable nouns plural. You would say luggage regardless of how many pieces of luggage you have, right? And you wouldn't say furnitures. Well, I would hope not. Instead, you would say furniture. And of course, this is the English language. So guess what? Some nouns can be counted as both uncountable or countable. It all just depends on how you're using the word in the sentence. How about we take a look at that? So here we have 2 sentences. The first says, the police found 2 hares at the crime scene. Hare in this sentence is a countable noun because 2 is a number and the number of hares are countable. However, the second sentence states, you look good with long hair. This is a general meaning, which makes it uncountable. Let's look at 2 more sentences. The one on the left says, the purse is made of 3 snake skins. Do you see how the noun skin is a countable noun? Right, because it is specific with 3 types of snake skin. However, the sentence on the right is all of your skin. Another easy way to tell is to just try to use the plural form of the word and see if it makes sense. So, which makes sense? My skin is very dry, or my skins are very dry? I really hope you said my skin is very dry, which I'm sure you did. Can you believe that we're almost finished with today's lesson? Just a few more things to go over. Lastly, we'll wrap up today's lesson with possessive nouns. Possessive nouns are nouns that show ownership or showing possession, meaning that something belongs to the noun. Let's look at some examples in how to form a possessive noun with singular nouns first. So we have the singular noun, which is the name Israel. Israel has a game that belongs to him. So since this is a singular noun, we simply add an apostrophe plus the letter S, and it looks just like that. Next, we'll use the singular noun girl, and the girl has a shirt that belongs to her. So since this is a singular noun, we again simply add an apostrophe plus the letter S. How about if it's a plural noun? Well, with plural nouns, it depends on the last letter of the word. Let's say we have the plural word boys, and the boys have toys that belong to them. Boys ends in the letter S, so all we do is add an apostrophe. So it looks like this. And how about the word women? And there are rights that belong to women. So since the plural noun women ends in a letter other than S, we do the same as we would for singular nouns. We add an apostrophe plus the letter S. So if a plural noun ends in the letter S, simply add an apostrophe. But if it ends in any other letter, add an apostrophe plus the letter S. Well, that wraps up our lesson. I know that was a lot of information. So if there were any parts that weren't clear or you just didn't get, please go back and re-watch that part or this entire video. And then, whenever you feel comfortable with everything that was taught in this lesson, just click here for part 2 on nouns, where we'll learn the functions or jobs of nouns and how to spot a noun in a sentence. See you there!